Hey everyone, so the short version of this video is that the 90-minute video I posted yesterday on Onision has been taken down and I can't get it back up. The video is now only available on Patreon, where neither YouTube or Onision can flag it. You can only view the video now by donating to my Patreon. I've made it available to the cheapest and the lowest tier on there. Issues like this are why the Patreon exists in the first place. It's one of the big reasons, and yeah, I genuinely can't tell you how much I appreciate my patrons, because the channel would not be the same without them, and I truly mean that. Okay, now the long version. The video itself is an 85-minute documentary-style deep dive on Onision, his past, and his recent return to YouTube, as well as all the legal drama surrounding it. I went to bed right after posting it and awoke to a bunch of tweets, DMs, and comments from people who were watching the video and had it taken down midway through their watching session. I went and checked my channel dashboard, and sure enough, the video had in fact been taken down, which is either a gross misuse of power from Onision himself or a grossly negligent and wrong move from YouTube themselves. I personally believe that it's the former. I think that Onision, illegally by the way, is misusing his power to censor creators like me. The community guideline that I had supposedly broken here was harassment and bullying. Apparently my video was content that contains targeted harassment or malicious insults such as racial slurs which aren't allowed on YouTube. This may include threats, unwanted sexualization, stalking, and prolonged name-calling or malicious insults that target intrinsic attributes. Now, much like all of my videos, none of these descriptions match the video in question at all. The closest thing that they list is prolonged name-calling or malicious insults. Now, I do say in the video that I don't like Onision. I think he's a bad person, and he's done really awful things, but these are not malicious insults or criticisms of intrinsic attributes like YouTube says they need to be for the video to be taken down. In fact, criticism of that ilk can basically be seen on every commentary video on this website, so that just can't be the reason that this video was taken down. It has to be something else. Not only just for as long as he's been a popular topic in commentary, but also very recently since his return. These are big videos as well, far bigger than the 10k that my video had before it was taken down. Videos from creators like Louis McClung, Cruel World, Happy Mind, Coop Noop, Tom Dark, heck, Mr. Rebzion has put out 5 videos on Onision out of his last 8, and those are way more scathing than mine because of the history that those two guys have. And this isn't me throwing shade at any of them at all, because I believe that they do genuinely and should have the right to make those videos and keep them up. But I should also have that same right. I seriously don't know and can't tell you the first reason why I'm being treated so differently to all of those guys. And those are just the recent ones, by the way. If you go back a little bit more, there's 3 movie-length videos from The Right Opinion, for example, and then there's YouTubers like Dankyjabo who have uploaded 38 videos on the topic, one of which was double the length of mine. If my video is targeted harassment or bullying with malicious insults, so to speak, then I don't know how 38 videos on the man isn't flagged as the same thing, especially when they're all designed to basically bash and critique the guy. And that's fine, by the way. He should be able to do that, but I just don't know what to say other than something is seriously wrong here and a mistake has been made. If it was purely an issue with like the automated system that YouTube has that flags videos, I guess indefinitely, then I seriously don't understand why those other videos that I just mentioned have been kept up. Like, it has to be something specific about mine, which doesn't do anything too different from a lot of the other ones. Maybe it is just YouTube making a mistake and striking a video down, and my video just happened to be the one that they made the mistake on. If it was Onision that's responsible for this, then it's an incredibly malicious, not to mention genuinely illegal abuse of power designed purely to ruin my livelihood and mess my earnings up because I hurt his feelings a bit. If it wasn't Onision, however, I actually think it's worse if YouTube is purely the one to blame here, because it means that essentially my boss in YouTube is punishing me for doing my job. Heaven knows how much work I put into this channel, and my severe ADHD will not allow me to focus on anything else if I have a project in the works. The second I put that first note down on Onision, my whole life becomes the Onision video. It infects the way that I act socially, it affects the way that I eat, the way that I exercise. The second that first note is on the page, my whole life is revolved around making a video on whatever topic I am decided to make the video on. It's not the healthiest unhealthiest way to run a YouTube channel, I know, but hopefully as I get bigger and do this for a bit longer, I'll pick up some healthier habits. The point I'm trying to make here is that I work incredibly hard, and that video was not just a slot video put out in an hour. Like, I really did work for it. I spent a whole day researching and taking notes so that I could portray and give you the accurate information. The next day I recorded, and the recording itself was 4 hours long. Simply cutting and sequencing that amount of footage on Premiere Pro with the screen recording and the necessary clips and context that are required in a video like that already took me tens of hours. And when you add to that the fancy intros that I add to my videos, plus the edits that you get along the way, it was not an easy or quick, simple process. This is not a slop YouTube channel that posts twice a day on trending topics that can afford or stand to lose a video or two every now and then. As small as a strike like this may be to channels like that, something like this to me directly threatens my livelihood, my job. And I'm having to waste time making this video trying to sort the situation out instead of doing what I want to do and what's best for me financially, which is moving on to the next topic and continuing business as normal and providing content for my subscribers. I really do try not to get personal on this channel, but to put it lightly, I am not somebody who comes from money. I could barely pay rent up until 2 months ago when the channel started doing well. And if it hadn't started doing well, I probably would have had to move. And so this Onision video isn't just a mere piece of content that has been illegally taken down. It's a substantial amount of my monthly earnings that has been stolen from me. Whilst I'm on that point, I do want to make it incredibly clear how much I actually do appreciate people who watch my content. I know I say it a lot, and I know it's something that a lot of YouTubers say, so it sort of runs the risk of losing its effect or losing its impact or just sounding, I guess, fugazi. But I really mean it when I say this, especially because I'm assuming only my real long-time audience will be watching this video. So to all of you who are watching this video right now, as well as, you know, my other videos, thank you so much for supporting the channel in whatever way you choose to do so. Even if it's just putting a video on whilst you do your dishes or fold your laundry, you are truly helping me and my family more than you could ever imagine. Now, I am going to talk a bit about the response that I received from YouTube and its workers, because it's a real bloody doozy, let me tell you. But before that, I'll just reiterate what I said in the intro, that you can watch this video on Patreon. Usually I put content that isn't on the channel on the £6 tier, but for obvious reasons, this will be available for those who pledge to the cheapest tier available, which is £3. If you do decide to donate, then not only will you receive this 90-minute video, but you'll also have access to the Patreon-only Discord, which has really been growing into a lovely community, especially recently. And you'll also get early access to all of my future videos, as well as your names at the end of all of them as well. More than anything though, you'll be supporting me in a way that I truly can't express. And I really do hope that you understand I'm not taking your views, subscriptions, likes, donations for granted at all. Those numbers aren't just numbers to me. If I am actually able to put that video back on YouTube, then rest assured I definitely will, and you'll be able to watch it for free, like you should. However, at the minute, that's basically impossible, because every time I try to re-upload it, even with adjustments, it immediately gets flagged and taken down, because I'm assuming it's on YouTube's system right now as content that should be immediately banned. So I did appeal the decision, which is an option that YouTube gives, and they rejected the appeal within 30 minutes of me sending it. And when you take into account that the video itself is 85 minutes long, I take that as meaning they didn't review it properly, because it would literally be impossible to watch a video that long in that amount of time. There's no way that anybody actually reviewed it properly that quickly. And so when I appeal the process, it's probably just a bot responding to me. An automated message. Fuck it. An automated message is good enough for them. Who cares if it threatens my livelihood? I put a tweet out and it was ignored, which to be fair I was expecting, because I don't really use X. I hate it there, so I didn't have enough pull for it to be taken seriously. What was a little more insulting was the conversation that I had with the YouTube support team. I gave them all the details and they responded with a copy and paste call to appeal. Once I told them I'd already appealed, they basically said there's nothing they can do. I expressed my concern and they hit me with a, "I'm sorry you feel that way." They then said that I violated their policies on child safety and sent me a link to their child safety community guideline. And they said that this was the rule I broke. But if you remember, the strike was for harassment and bullying, which means that either they sent me the wrong strike, or Cindy here was watching the wrong video, or maybe she sent the wrong link, but either way, it just goes to show how much of a mess YouTube support is. I was assured that they had checked my video thoroughly, and they had already confirmed that it violated our policies on child safety policy. Their decision is final and cannot be overturned. We want YouTube to be a safe space for creators and viewers alike, so we are strictly and fairly enforcing those policies. To be honest, all I took from this is that they actually don't care. How can you thoroughly check the video and then come to a different conclusion from what the strike was actually for, which was harassment and bullying. And nothing in the video could have even slightly been indicative of endangering children. Nothing of the sort. When you combine that with the fact that the appeal was rejected within half an hour, I personally think that I can be forgiven for thinking that they didn't check it as thoroughly as they say they did. Now, I did end up apologizing to this person for losing my rag slightly because ultimately, I understand that I wasn't talking to YouTube, I was talking to one individual who works there. And they may have been trying to genuinely help me, but as I'm sure you can understand, this is an incredibly stressful situation where hours of work, time, money, views, and subscribers have essentially been stolen from me. Before I end the video, I'll go over some more examples of harassment that YouTube states on their website so that you can understand how none of my content even comes close to violating these rules. And for the few that have actually seen the video, and for those planning to donate so they can see the video, so that you can understand how even that video violates none of these rules either.
If you make a video that encourages viewers to post cruel and malicious comments on another video, that could result in a strike on your channel. The answer is true. Content or behavior intended to harass, threaten, or bully others is not allowed on YouTube. Neither is maliciously recording someone without their consent or revealing someone's private personal information. Let's take a look at some examples.
I have never done any of these things in any of my videos. They're all up, you can go watch them. It's difficult to prove that I didn't do it for this Onision video because it's obviously not even up. So all I can do is give you my word that it's just like any other Dankyjabo video. For those who actually have seen this Onision video, maybe leave a comment below telling me if you genuinely think that I broke any of these rules, because I truly believe that I didn't. I know I didn't. I'll show some other examples in writing that they give of harassment. I mean, I don't think any of these rules were even possible for me to break in that video. In fact, the only examples of these rules being broke, such as doxing for example, is me talking about Onision doing these things, which should obviously not constitute me being punished, because by that logic, everyone else's video on Onision would also have to be taken down. These are some more examples of bullying this time, and they all mainly can be boiled down to being really, really mean, but you can pause and read them for as long as you'd like. Now, I don't mean to be delusional or wrong here, but I genuinely see myself as one of the less disrespectful commentary channels on this website. If you look at my latest video on Lily Tino, for example, despite her being morally questionable to say the least, I remained respectful and criticized her actions in a calm, well-researched, and calculated manner. I never criticized her for her intrinsic attributes or her minority group or her physical features. I only point this out because you can actually go and watch that last video for yourself, which you obviously can't do with the Onision one. But in the Onision video, I do the exact same thing. I never, believe it or not, pointed out or made fun of any of Onision's intrinsic attributes or physical features. The only examples of bullying, once again, are discussions or clips in the video of Onision doing such things to other creators years ago, such as how he made fun of Eugenia Cooney for having an eating disorder, or more obviously the long-running series he had where he rated and bullied underage girls for being ugly or overweight in his eyes. Someone who has done that is still allowed to post content on their 2 million subscriber channel, and not only post content but also hold power over other people's content who simply talk about his content. You can call me whiny, I get it, but ultimately I feel cheated, I feel like I've been stolen from, and I've never felt less motivated to make YouTube videos in my life. Which is really depressing because I truly love this job. I've been wanting to do it for as long as I remember, and now that I've finally done it, someone is allowed to just steal it away from me. That being said, from now, videos will continue as normal because I owe you that much at least. Especially my patrons. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, though I don't know how you'd be at this point in the video if you weren't subscribed already. And donate to the Patreon if you want to. No obligation at all, though, obviously. I think that's about it, though, so I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.